Hai and Assalamualaikum, me IRDINA binti Muhammad EUSOF, holding a metric number D20231106-830. In this video, I'm going to present to you guys about Deviant event. So, what are Deviant events? Deviant events take many forms, but all such events violate social norms. It basically means doing things that break the rules or go against what is expected in our society. Some involve physical behavior and some involve verbal behavior. These are the examples of physical forms of deviant, while these are verbal behavior of deviant. According to Meller, Kennedy and Sacco in 2001, the term event refers to some behavior as well as the context in which the behavior occurs. Deviant events usually involve a deviant and a victim, and the circumstances that brought them together to the deviant event, which usually depend on the factor such as history and the role between the deviant and the victim. There are four aspects under the deviant event. Firstly, deviant roles. Second, deviant places. Thirdly, the deviant act over time. Lastly, the deviant act and victim. The first aspect is deviant roles. Everyone performs a number of social roles. At different times, people may act as a student, son or daughter, and sometimes may act as a deviant. No one is deviant all the time. Mostly, deviant acts do not just happen out of nowhere, which is considered not spontaneous. In other words, most deviant acts occurs in particular social contexts, and they usually follow a process or stages that develop gradually. We move to deviant places, which refer to physical locations that are usually linked with deviant act. A deviant act may begin with an interpretation of a situation as an opportunity to commit the act. In the 1920s, the researchers of University of Chicago, Clifford Shaw and Henry McKay, conducted studies that laid the foundation for understanding the correlation between delinquency and specific areas within the cities. This marked the beginning of a deeper exploration into the influence of physical location on deviant behavior. Moving forward to 1987, researcher Stark has theorized a relationship between deviant acts and certain types of communities. He highlighted the impact of high population densities and crowded housing conditions on the prevalence of deviant behavior within these areas. According to Kellings and Coles in 1996, neighborhoods often become places where deviance is likely to occur as they decay into disorder. Focus on the critical factors. The first one is substantial poverty. Neighborhoods that face economic challenges and lack opportunities are more prone to criminal activities. High poverty levels contribute to an environment where individuals may turn to deviance as means of survival or escape. The second one is extensive physical deterioration. For example, areas with abandoned buildings such as an overall urban decay have a significant negative perception of the community, impact property values, and create an environment conducive to various social issues, including crime. Next, I will explain about the deviant act over time. Deviants may learn to commit the deviant acts over long periods through a process of realizing pleasure and adventure from committing successive acts. The first example is the adult robber may have begun his or her career in indulging with minor trafficking delinquencies and other risk-taking activities. So, let's explore this idea further. Criminal career often evolve from less severe acts to more serious offenses. The initial engagement in minor delinquencies can serve as a gateway, gradually desensitizing individuals to deviant behaviors and leading them to more significant criminal activities. Now, consider another example from Croydon in 1989. A member of the gay community may have engaged in homosexual activities only sporadically as a youngster, acquiring a homosexual identity only through later participation in the gay social environment. Now, I will explain further about the correlation between risk-taking behavior and deviant behavior. Drug experimentation or low-stakes gambling may seem both financially and socially rewarding for some people. What begins as a seemingly innocent pursuit of excitement can escalate into a continuous spiral of gambling as individuals seek more significant thrills and rewards. The person gambles because the activities offer excitements and confirm the self-image of lively, interesting persons. They rely on the gambling to provide financial relief. So, what about long chronicles? Many deviant acts form part of a long chronicles. An apparently simple act of a criminal assault, for example, may in fact result from a number of event interactions. Some deviant acts occur at some times more than others. Some deviant acts, for example, are tied into particular situations. Next, let's talk about the last aspect, which is deviant acts and victims. The nature of a deviant act depends not only on the past experiences of the actors, but also on the responses of others in the immediate situations. Deviant acts often lead to anticipated consequences that often arise during the deviant act, leading to unexpected outcomes. For instance, criminal homicides sometimes result due to the event that are not initially anticipated, such as burglary turning fatal. Not all deviant acts target victims. Conscience of people associated with mental disorders, homosexuality, drug addiction, prostitution, and alcoholism may significantly impact others without direct harm. Many deviants commit their acts outside their presence of any audience. For example, addicts often take drugs without anyone else present, and another example of crime that can take place without audience is burglary. So, that's all from me, and that's all for this video. Don't forget to subscribe.